Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Colleen Meyer from Meyer Mintz Consulting, bringing you Fearless in Pink. And we have an amazing guest today. Her name is Michelle Garza. Michelle, do you want to talk about your business and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, I want to thank you so much for inviting me to be on your podcast, on your show. I'm super excited about it. So, thank you so much. So, I'm Michelle Garza. I'm a business coach, and I help new, motivated, high achieving coaches book clients consistently into their programs. So, that's what I do in a nutshell.
So what drew you to this business? I know I've talked to a lot of women. Sometimes they kind of fall into it. Sometimes, that was been their dream. How did you get into what you do?
Yeah, so I have a varied background. It's a very eclectic background. I'm an
Mhm.
engineer by degree, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And I just had this feeling that I want to do something else. I'm also a teacher by heart, so I started dabbling into like affiliate marketing, getting online and starting a business and learning about that. And I did that for a couple of years, and it just kind of led me to once I started figuring things out, once I started getting things working for me, people started reaching out to me for help with things like email marketing, things like their Facebook group, growing them, how to set them up, things like that. And I'm like, hey, I like this. Like I said, I'm
Mhm.
a teacher by heart. I have two kids. I love teaching them. I have a Girl Scout troop. I love teaching them. And so I was like, wow, I could really, start veering into this and become a coach, become somebody who can help people establish themselves online and have an online business. So that is how I got to this point. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I love helping people. I focus on women right now,
Mhm.
female coaches right now, but who knows where that'll lead down the line. But
Mhm.
that's how I got into it. It kind of started off with some other things, and then I realized what I can do with the knowledge I was gaining and being able to prove, online.
That's amazing. It's fun when you can find something that you enjoy. So when you go to work, it's like not really work because it's so, you know, enjoyable to do. Now let's talk about your customers. Are they mostly startups or, are they emerging? Where are they as far as their business journey?
Yeah, so I focus on female coaches in towards the beginning of their journey. So
Mhm.
not necessarily not a female or a woman who wants to do something online, but is not sure what she wants to do. That's not really the person I focus on. It's somebody who already knows that they want to do coaching, and they tried some things. They tried all the things,
Mhm.
then maybe over the course of 6 months to maybe 12 months, they've been trying things that haven't been working quite well for them for whatever reason. And they're confused, they're stuck, they're not sure where to go. They already have, all these freebies that they downloaded. They took all the free courses and things like that, and they're not sure what to do next. So that's where I come in and I help them get clear on their path, clear on their strategy, and help them, create profitable coaching businesses.
That's great. And this being fearless and pink, it's so important that because women business owners or women in general, I think we like to collaborate. We don't want to go through the journey alone. We want that support and that collaboration. And I think that's amazing that you're making yourself available to those women that want to, hey, I gotta, I need to make some money here. And on my journey, okay, I've done everything, but now I need to make some money. And that's great. What do you feel when they come in? What do you feel is the biggest step that the hurdle that they're trying, like a hurdle that you see over and over again with women, and it's like, okay, this is where we need to hop over.
Yeah, I really think it's really not necessarily tactical or not knowing what to do necessarily. It's more in the mindset. It's more in the mindset, and then also the consistency. So people need to realize that they need to be consistent. They need to
Mhm.
build momentum online, and it takes a certain type of mindset to be able to stick with it and keep doing things over and over, and then assessing what they're doing tweaking where they need to, and then continuing on. So it takes a certain mindset to do that. And I think that that is the biggest hurdle
Mhm.
that most of my clients need to get past in order to start seeing significant progress.
I agree with that. I think that especially when it comes to marketing or your branding, when a person's going out there, they think, okay, if I do this email blast, or if I do this social media, or if I, you know, drop go drop they're doing a mailing campaign, the old school mailing campaign. They expect us immediate, like it's a magic. And don't you find that that we have to explain to them, that takes time because it takes exposure.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of things. People think that things are going to happen overnight.
Hmm.
And that is one of the biggest issues. People think, oh, I'm gonna put up some posts and I'm gonna, my clients are gonna start rolling in, and it just doesn't happen that way. But we work through all that, and I like to talk about that too when I do training in my Facebook group, just to so people know up front. I think it's important for people to know way ahead of time, way early in their process,
Hmm.
that it just doesn't happen that way, so that they could get in that mindset to keep moving forward, that it's for the long game, not the short game.
Do you feel that, when you were saying that, that okay, I posted on, stick with digital marketing for a minute. I posted on Facebook, I posted on TikTok, I posted on Instagram, but there's no rhyme to their reason. There's not content planning. Do you find that your customers are like that? And how do you work them through that?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, people in general, they don't realize that these successful coaches, these successful entrepreneurs out there, when they're posting, when they're going live, it's not random. It's
Yes.
not, they're not just randomly doing that. They have a strategy, and they are leading, everybody to their service, to their
Okay.
offer, so that they're able to serve, their clients. So that is also something that people need to realize, that they really don't in the beginning, because I know I didn't. I
Hmm.
know that was like a big realization for me. I was like, oh wait, this isn't random. This is, strategic. They're doing this for a reason, and it's not like in a sneaky way. It's in a serving way.
Hmm.
It's just that, hey, you have a service that you want to provide, and it's not for free. If you want to help people and create an impact in people's lives, it's a win-win situation when somebody pays for that type of service. So yes, the strategy of posting and content marketing, and just FYI, I only do online,
Hmm.
marketing, and mostly focus on Facebook, but the
Hmm.
principles you could apply across.
Of course, I think so too. And I think, I hear people, we work with women business owners at Navo, and our membership, and people say, well, I posted. And if you just post for the sake of posting, then the customers know that, they know that you're not giving them um, quality, I think. What do you feel the same way, or do you think differently?
Yeah, yes, I know, I agree with that, especially when they jump onto the bandwagon of what's
Hmm.
hot at the time. You could just tell, oh, you're, the motivational quote, or the things that you see all the time. People are doing that unfortunately for the sake of doing it. I mean, not that they're intending to do something bad. It's just that they see that it's working for others, and they're trying those different things. But yes, so a lot of times it's posting just to post. So
Yeah. And,
yeah.
and being themselves, you can't be somebody else. You have to be yourself. Let's go back to uh, when you were talking about um, working with women, and you're trying to get them past that. They tried it for, how many months, and now they realize they need some support. When I was working on my dissertation, which I did on women business owners, I found that they sometimes, studies show that we have a little bit more lack of self-efficacy or self-confidence than some of our male counterparts. Do you see that in your business when you're dealing with women? Do you feel like maybe they don't have the confidence to run to the gate, or do you think that's starting to shift away from that?
It really depends. A lot of the women that I work with also work with women, you
Mm,
know, and the ones that don't, that have a mix
mhm,
male and female clients or an audience, they're very competent.
mm,
They're very competent. I mean, both sides are very competent, but I'm wondering if that has something to do with it.
mhm,
If you're if you have an audience of just women, maybe that boosts your comp or allows you for a space to be more confident. I'm not sure. Because when I work with them, they seem to be, I don't think confidence is an issue
mm.
necessarily. I haven't seen that anyway.
Oh, that's great news. That means that is starting to shift, and
Yes.
I'm happy to see that. And because we want women business owners to feel confident and get out there, and because we're the fastest growing entrepreneurship or business owners in the country, you
That's
know,
awesome.
that is so awesome.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Michelle. Going back now, let's peel back some of the layers. And when you're first starting out in this, because you were an engineer, which is amazing, very smart, and then you're like, okay, I'm started doing this, and I found that I liked it. If you could go back to that point where you started to pivot into what you do now, what would you say to yourself, your this Michelle from the past, and say, you know what, you should have did this sooner, or maybe we could have did this, or could have taken that away? What advice would you give to yourself going back to where you started your business?
Okay, that's interesting. Well, to tell you the truth, Colleen, I still work full time, so I'm
Mm.
still
Oh
doing my
gosh.
technical job. I still do my technical job, and then I also do this with the hopes that I'm going to transition into this full time. But in
Mm.
the beginning, what I wish somebody would have told me, or what wish I would have known, is just really that it really is it for the long
Mm-hmm.
haul. Like,
Mm.
you don't it's not an overnight success. The things that I was mentioning, it applied to me too when
Mhm,
I when I was in the beginning stages, and that's why I talk about it in my
mhm,
Facebook group when I do my training, because I think people need to know this way in the beginning of their process, because I didn't when
mhm,
I started. And I thought that I would be able to just do this, quick win, quick overnight success type of
mhm,
thing. It just is not that way. You really do need to love what you do and
mhm.
come from a place of service. You really do.
Well, I think that shows with you, well, first of all, you're amazing. You're working and you have your family and you're doing this and you're helping other women's. But I have sat through your when you go live on Facebook and in your posts and the information that you're giving out, and it's really high quality. And I think that you're not afraid to embrace that, because don't you find that people just going live, you're going to go live on Facebook, but you're so comfortable and the information is spot on and the information is so helpful. I've gotten some of your information like, hey, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to do that.
Thank
So
you.
it's amazing that so I really think when we get done to share your Facebook page, because it's the information I find is amazing and helpful for a business person at any stage, whether they're startups. I've been doing business for 30 years and I'm just like, that's good. I'm going to write that down, because you never,
Awesome. Mhm.
because you're a business person, you never stop learning and you
Right.
don't ever get to the point where you know it all,
Absolutely.
you know?
Totally agree. Yes, yes. And that's another thing that it drives me, because like I said, I have a technical degree, a technical background. I've always loved school. I love to
Mhm.
learn. And like you said, you can never stop learning. And you really get into, like, the psychology and human behavior and things like that when you really start educating yourself about business and sales and marketing. And that's what is really, driving me too.
Mhm. And it's
Yeah.
also I find that it's also when you get into a service business, and it's also because we love to see someone who, whether it's our client or another woman business owner, or any type of business, when we see them go from point A to point B and then point C, and then they're growing and they're starting to see some um, money trickling down to the bottom line, that's exciting for us as the service givers to feel good. Like,
Absolutely.
so our clients are, they call you up and said, oh my God, I got a sale, or I got these clients. Thank you for helping me drive these clients to my event. And to see that movement is so rewarding.
Right. And I mean, for me, their win is my win. So I want to see them succeed. I mean, it's like they have to they
Mhm.
have to succeed and meet their goals, and I have to help them do that. So I mean, I feel the same way about my Girl Scouts. I feel the same
Mhm.
way about my kids. I really invest that in people, and then I feel like their wins are my wins.
Well, I'm sure some of our listeners are going to say, how do I get a hold of Michelle? So,
Mhm.
what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you if they wanted to contact you about your services?
So the best way is Facebook.
Hmm.
I'm really active on
Yes,
Facebook,
you are.
and my personal page is Michelle Garza, but my Facebook group is where it's all happening.
Hmm.
And my Facebook group is Amazing Female Coaches Making an Impact. So that is the title of my Facebook group, and yeah, I would love to have everyone there that wants to make an impact. So
That's how I found you on Facebook, and that's
uh-huh.
where I tuned in. I loved it. And I want to tell the listeners, even though you say, I'm working full time, but I'm doing this, and you're transitioning. When I mentioned you to a friend of mine, she already knew who you were. Oh, I follow her on. So, you're getting that name out there, and that recognition, and that brand identity, and you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much. That's what it's all about, and that's what I teach people.
All right, Michelle,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being on Fearless in Pink, and we appreciate the time.
I really appreciate doing this. Thank you for inviting me.